In Ukraine's skies, war now buzzes more than it roars. Tiny, cheap drones, many built for suicide strikes, are reshaping modern conflict. In July 2025 alone, Russia launched over 6,300 Shahed kamikaze drones, up from just 426 a year earlier. Ukraine is racing to keep up, claiming it can now produce 4.5 million drones annually, some able to hit deep inside Russia. The arms race isn't just drones versus missiles anymore. It's drones versus anti-drone tech. Enter Leonidas, a U.S. high-power microwave weapon that can fry whole swarms mid-air, potentially flipping the cost balance of drone warfare. Why traditional air defense is losing the math game. Old-school air defense was built on a simple idea: launch an interceptor to kill a single incoming target. That model worked when threats were expensive: jets, missiles, maybe the occasional cruise missile. But drones like the Iranian-designed Shahed 136 are dirt cheap, reportedly costing around $35,000 each to build. Some small FPV drones used for frontline strikes cost less than $10,000. Compare that to Western drones like the MQ-9 Reaper, which cost $28 to $32 million apiece, and about $60 million to operate across a lifetime. Or even the price of an interceptor missile, which can hit hundreds of thousands of dollars per shot. Firing a $500,000 missile to kill a $35,000 drone is a losing strategy, especially when the enemy can send thousands. Russia knows this and is exploiting it. Between August 2024 and March 2025, Ukraine logged over 15,000 Shahed-style launches. Even with solid interception rates, the sheer cost imbalance is brutal. Ukrainian air defenses burn through expensive missiles to stop cheap robots, and Russia simply keeps sending more. It's attrition warfare by economics. Electronic jamming helps, degrading drone accuracy, or knocking some offline nukes, but it's only partially effective. Ukraine has used these tactics heavily, but the skies remain saturated. Something had to change. The Microwave Dome of Death. Developed by the California-based defense tech firm Epirus, Leonidas is officially classified as the indirect fire protection capability, high-power microwave. Its mission? Turn the air into a no-fly zone for drones. Instead of shooting projectiles, Leonidas unleashes an electromagnetic energy field. This death dome can disable the electronics of dozens, even hundreds of drones simultaneously. Think of it as swapping a sniper rifle for a bug zapper the size of a truck. This isn't your typical electronic jammer. Traditional systems focus on specific frequencies or overload a drone's antennas. Leonidas goes further. It projects intense, broad microwave energy that attacks the very guts of electronic systems, servo motors, wires, processors, making drones simply shut down mid-air. Epirus CEO Andy Lowry insists Leonidas isn't just another directed energy weapon. He calls it weaponized electromagnetic interference. The distinction matters. Instead of aiming at one drone, it creates a protective electromagnetic umbrella over a tactically relevant area, roughly a kilometer for full strength, up to 10 kilometers for partial effect. And unlike missiles that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars per shot, Leonidas fires for the cost of electricity. How it works and why it's different. Most high-power microwave systems fire short, brutal bursts, nanosecond-long pulses that fry electronics. Leonidas, however, fires millisecond-long pulses, an eternity in computing terms. While a drone's microchip may process thousands of cycles in a millisecond, Leonidas keeps hammering it the whole time, confusing and disabling the system until it fails. Its hardware is modular, built from line-replaceable amplifier modules. Need more range? Add more modules. A 100 LRAM array hits 10 times harder than a 10-line replaceable amplifier module's one. In theory, a massive installation could shield entire bases or small cities. This modularity also matters for cost. Around 65% of Leonidas's price tag is the line replaceable amplifier modules, so scaling production could drive prices down if more manufacturers join the supply chain. More power, less hassle. The first generation of Leonidas proved deadly to drones, but suffered a practical problem. It demanded enormous amounts of power to run continuously. The U.S. Army still awarded Epirus a $43 million contract for 2 systems, but field tests showed real-world deployment would be tricky. The newly built Leonidas Gen 2 fixes that. It's 30% more powerful, can fire longer, and now stores enough juice, about 800 pounds of lithium polymer batteries, to operate for 30 minutes without external power. That's plenty of time to knock down massive drone swarms. Gen 2 units can also link together, combining output to extend range and create wide area denial. The Army plans to test connected systems in October 2025 at Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake, California. Epirus says production currently sits around 20 Gen 2 units per year, with potential to scale to 30. Each system costs $10 to $20 million, steep but far cheaper to operate over time than missile batteries. The smart microwave trick. Perhaps the most game-changing feature is Leonidas's ability to outthink electronic shielding. Normally, drones can be hardened against electromagnetic attacks with special casings or circuitry. Lowery claims Leonidas's pulses can find pathways into supposedly protected electronics by tuning carrier frequencies and pulse shapes. In other words, it doesn't just blast harder, it outsmarts the shielding. That makes it potentially lethal not just to cheap shawheads, but to more advanced hardened systems, including larger drones, communications networks, even vehicle or missile electronics. If true, this is a leap beyond brute force EMP weapons and could reset the cat and mouse game of drone defense. Visibility is a double-edged sword. All that power comes with a glaring downside. Leonidas lights up like a beacon when it fires. Its electromagnetic signature could be spotted from far away. Lowery says if one fired in Kyiv, sensors might pick it up in St. Petersburg. That makes it a juicy target for Russian strikes. One popular tactic could be to pinpoint the source and lob glide bombs, cheap retrofitted Soviet gravity bombs with basic guidance to take it out. These have been a major Russian weapon lately and would likely ignore Leonidas's microwaves. The answer? Shoot and scoot. Epirus advertises that Leonidas can go from stowed to combat ready in 15 to 20 minutes. Mobile variants, including one mounted on the Striker armored vehicle, are designed to zap drones, then move before counterfire arrives. Mobility is crucial if Leonidas is to survive on modern, sensor-saturated battlefields. A global market for microwave shields. Although born from the drone nightmare over Ukraine, Leonidas has implications far beyond Eastern Europe. The US military sees it as a key piece in layered homeland defense, potentially part of President Donald Trump's proposed Golden Dome initiative to shield cities and critical sites. One use case is protecting major events like the 2026 World Cup matches in US cities from drone attacks. Another is border security. Epirus has also raised serious capital, $250 million, in a March 2025 funding round, bringing total investment to over $550 million. That's a vote of confidence from defense investors and suggests a push toward large-scale production and foreign military sales. Australia, under the AUKUS Pillar 2 partnership, is already exploring Leonidas for Project Land 156, focusing on neutralizing small drones. Why cost per shot changes everything. Perhaps the most disruptive thing about Leonidas isn't its technology, it's its economics. Kinetic air defense, missiles, interceptors burn staggering sums with every shot. Some systems cost over $1 million per missile. Leonidas, by contrast, engages unlimited targets for the price of the electricity it consumes. Its modular design also means easy repair. If one amplifier fails, the rest still work, and the broken piece can be swapped out. That could transform how militaries budget air defense. Instead of buying endless expensive interceptors, they could deploy a few reusable energy weapons and keep them running indefinitely. For countries facing cheap drone saturation, this is a game changer. Challenges ahead, and why speed matters. Leonidas isn't ready to dominate the battlefield yet. Scaling production remains tricky. Epirus's 20 to 30 systems per year can't blanket Ukraine or the US homeland. Each costs tens of millions up front, and the massive electromagnetic signature is still a tactical risk. Meanwhile, drone warfare is evolving fast. Russia keeps upgrading Shaheds. Better defenses, faster speeds, bigger payloads. Ukraine, too, is iterating quickly. In this race, whoever fields effective countermeasures first gains a major edge. If Leonidas can move from prototype to full deployment quickly, it could flip the attrition math and give defenders a sustainable way to survive drone swarms. Delay too long, and drones may adapt or multiply beyond its capacity. A glimpse into the future of war. Ukraine's battlefields have become a test lab for next-gen warfare. Cheap drones, AI-guided strikes, and garage-built weapons. The West is watching and scrambling to adapt. One answer may be Leonidas, a scalable high-power microwave system that can wipe out swarms of drones at low cost. Yet a paradox emerges. Stronger defenses make you more visible. Survival may depend as much on mobility and unpredictability as on firepower. If Leonidas works, it could reshape the skies, replacing missile for missile defense with energy weapons. If it fails or comes too late, cheap drone swarms will rule the battlefield. The microwave era has begun. And that's the story of how microwaves might change the future of warfare, and possibly tip the balance in Ukraine's skies. If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next big breakdown.